The many workers joining their voices in a protest as strikes flare all across the United States.
10,000 workers at John Deere facilities in Iowa, Illinois, and Kansas are set to strike tonight.
Manufacturing cell phones takes so much energy and so many materials.
John Deere has crossed the line, and America's farmers are striking back harder than anyone expected. For decades, John Deere was the backbone of farming, a name that stood for innovation, trust, and the promise of a brighter future for the fields that feed our nation.
Thousands of dollars on tractors, combines, and the like, but for years, John Deere manufacturers told farmers they didn't have the right to make their own repairs.
But today, that trust is in shambles. Restrictive repair policies, skyrocketing costs, and farmers locked out of their own machinery.
The John Deere operation in her own pocketbook when it comes to how people spend their money
have sparked a rebellion unlike anything we've seen before. What does this mean for the future of farming? How has John Deere's iron grip backfired so dramatically? And why is this fight about much more than just agriculture? Stay with me, because this isn't just a story about tractors. It's a battle that touches our food, our economy, and our very freedom. For nearly 2 centuries, John Deere was a name synonymous with farming excellence. Founded in 1837 by a resourceful blacksmith from Vermont, the company introduced the revolutionary steel plow, a tool that forever changed the agricultural landscape. Before this innovation, farmers struggled to plow through thick, sticky soil with wooden or cast iron implements, often losing precious time and vital crops. The steel plow didn't just make farming easier, it sparked a movement, turning barren fields into fertile lands and empowering generations of farmers to build thriving communities. John Deere grew from a humble operation into a global giant, expanding its offerings from plows to tractors, harvesters, and a range of machinery that became indispensable on farms everywhere. Its bright green and yellow machines came to symbolize not only reliability and progress, but also the spirit of independence that defined American agriculture. Yet, as the decades passed and technology advanced, a stark transformation took place. The very innovations that once promised to empower farmers have now become tools of control. As the agricultural industry entered the 21st century, John Deere embraced advanced technologies like GPS-guided tractors, precision planting systems, and automated steering. At first, these innovations seemed like a natural progression, a way to make farming more efficient and profitable. But behind the promise of technological progress lay a new kind of trap. John Deere began embedding proprietary software into its machines, creating a closed ecosystem that only their authorized technicians could access. This meant that even the simplest repairs, like replacing a faulty sensor or recalibrating a GPS system, required farmers to rely exclusively on John Deere's expensive, often delayed, repair services. For farmers who had proudly fixed their own equipment for generations, this shift felt like a betrayal of the trust that once bound them to a company they considered a true partner. Imagine owning a piece of machinery that is essential to your livelihood, only to find out that you no longer have the right to repair it yourself. For farmers, this isn't just an inconvenience. It's a potentially catastrophic setback. During critical periods like planting and harvesting, every hour counts. A malfunctioning tractor or combine can throw an entire season off course. Consider the case of a simple GPS receiver malfunction. What might seem like a minor issue can disrupt precision planting, leading to uneven crop distribution and wasted seeds. Under John Deere's restrictive policies, fixing such a problem isn't as straightforward as replacing a part. Farmers are forced to wait for an authorized technician, sometimes for days or even weeks, while every lost hour translates into lower yields and a financial hit that can be devastating, especially for small-scale operations operating on razor-thin margins. The consequences of these policies extend far beyond the individual farm. When equipment sits idle during critical windows, the impact ripples through the entire agricultural supply chain. A delay in harvesting not only affects a farmer's income, but can also lead to shortages in the market, driving up prices at the grocery store and ultimately affecting every consumer.